welcome everyone to another edition of hashtag SSSPod, Suplexes, Scores, and Save Points. I am Ryan, and as always, I am being joined by my partner, the one, the only, Nathan.
Oh, what's up?
I thought you fell asleep on me. Thank you for joining us today for our weekly wrestling recap. This is Suplexes, where we talk all things professional wrestling. We have a big week. We had some big matches this week on TV and pay-per-view that we're going to get through. There were big matches across the board on almost every show, which was crazy. This was a huge week for wrestling this week. If you joined us for our live stream of Aew Revolution, we thank you. We appreciate everybody that came out and hung out with us to watch that show. We'll get into that at the end of this show, but first we are going to start off with the beginning of the week on Monday, and that means we're starting off with ROH, Ring of Honor. Big show for Ring of Honor this week. Was there any news that you saw regarding?
Just that Marty Scurll's definitely out of there, and he might sign with the company. We'll see.
Cool. I hope not, but
yeah.
I mean, yeah. I didn't really see much else. We talked last week about EC3 signing, so that's about the only big news that we had this week. So let's get into this show. We had a pretty big show. We had a World Tag Team Championship Pure Rules match.
Yeah.
Kenny King and Dragon Lee took on the champions Lethal and Gresham. Pretty good tag team Pure Rules matches are weird. It's confusing, but this was
yeah. This is the first one we've seen, right?
I think so. I think they may have done one before, but this one was. It's very weird to see like the way they try to do tag team rules and pure rules at the same time. This was interesting. Kenny King and Dragon Lee made a pretty good team, and they actually took the World Tag Team Championships away from the Foundation. So we have brand new ROH World Tag Team Champions.
Yeah.
Kenny King and Dragon Lee. That's a heck of a way to start off a show. And then we also had the World Championship match as Shane Taylor took on the World Champion Roosh. There was no code of honor at the beginning of this match, and this was a pretty good match too.
Yeah, I liked it. Even for being a big guy, Shane Taylor can move pretty good. And he can keep up with Roosh. I didn't know if he would be able to.
Yeah, Kenny King came actually back out in this match at the end. King cost Shane Taylor the title, which I was confused about because I didn't know who the hell was heel and face during this match.
Right.
But I guess that's a heel turn? But I thought Shane Taylor was a heel, so
yeah, it's very confusing.
Yeah, King hit
because they were both kind of heels. So
yeah, he was trying. It looked like he was trying to hit Roosh. Roosh ducked, but apparently they were in on it, and I don't know. It was a weird ending, but a really good show. Only 2 matches, but both are really good. They finally had a good one. It's been a couple down weeks for ROH, but they had a really good week this week. So.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Let me pull it up here. Moving on to the next show on Monday. Of course, it's the big one. The longest running weekly episodic television show in history.
Yeah. Before we get into the show, I guess we'll talk some WWE news. So this is kind of WWE/AEW news, but last week we had Big Show sign with AEW. because of money and wanting to wrestle. And now we found out on the AEW pay-per-view that Christian has signed with AEW. So he decided not to re-sign with WWE. And from what I've read, it's also because of money and wanting to wrestle. So WWE might have to change their philosophy here, Ryan. They might have to. No. Okay.
No. Good riddance. I mean, good riddance. Honestly, like here's my thoughts on this. I was a big Christian fan. I actually liked Christian more than Edge back in the day. I've always been a Christian fan. But he's in his 40s. And let's be honest, how many more matches does he have in him that are going to be good? I don't blame him for going to AEW if they're going to willing to give him money and let him wrestle. Good for him. But WWE's roster is so bloated anyway. Having him come around and wrestle full time isn't something that I think a lot of people wanted to see. It was cool as a one-off in the Rumble, and it would have been cool maybe to have an Edge and Christian like tag team match.
Yeah,
but that's about all I wanted from it. So, speaking of ages, I did see a report. This is more NXT, but it's WWE actually in total. I saw a report that said WWE, unless they are a huge name, unless there's someone with a name value, they don't want to hire anyone over the age of 30. Because they said they realized that their entire roster is 30 and up.
You'd think they would have realized that earlier. But
so apparently they're going to try to, they said, unless, like LA Knight and Taya, if they've got a big name, they'll take them on. But anyone that they think they can develop, they're going to try to get young, like Blake Christian, like that Parker Boudreaux, guys who are either have a little bit of wrestling experience or none at all. It's kind of what they're shooting for, I guess. So,
all
right. Yeah. Interesting there. I mean, it's true though. I mean, you got their main, like almost everyone on the roster is like 40. It's crazy.
Very true.
Yeah, I don't think Vince is losing sleep over losing Christian and Big Show though. So, just gonna say. All right. So Monday Night Raw. This show was basically all about Miz and Lashley.
Yep.
This was basically Bobby Lashley wanted his championship match. They had a deal. Apparently, Miz and MVP and Lashley, and so they're gonna wrestle tonight for the title at 9 p.m. And then it becomes 9 p.m. and Miz gets himself counted out.
Yeah.
So he then runs, and then this whole show was that's all it was. This whole show was Miz and Lashley. Lashley, MVP said bullshit on live TV. That was cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. We did have a couple other matches that were decent, but we get down to our main event. It was once again Miz versus Lashley, this time in a lumberjack match. So basically, Miz can't run away. Lashley destroyed him, beat him down, locked in the hurt lock. Miz tapped out, and Bobby Lashley is the new WWE champion.
Yeah.
It is about damn time. Pretty good Raw. This Raw, even though it wasn't, it was like, it reminded me of the booking strategy of like the Attitude Era.
Right.
Where the whole show was like one big giant, like actual, it all meant something, It was all leading to a certain ending. And that's what this show felt like. So it felt like a little better show than normal. So I was into it. And especially Raw, Lashley winning the title. That was amazing. I didn't know if he was actually going to do it. I thought they might have waited till like Fastlane or something. But, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is that this is going to just, like, they're going to act like they're going to do it and then not wait and do it on Fastlane, which would have been a real big letdown.
Yeah. A highlight of the show was McIntyre and Sheamus had about the best match they could have. They went pretty long. I think it was about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
They had a really good show to kick off the show after the promo. That's about it. Everything else on the show was so-so. It was but yeah, Lashley Miz. Lashley new champion. It'll be interesting to see where they head now on the road to WrestleMania. Who's the next challenger for the championship? Because I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they head here. If it's going to be McIntyre or if it's going to be maybe a returning Lesnar. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, that show was okay. I am glad that Bobby Lashley is the champion, and hopefully him and Drew will have a good match at Mania.
Well, that's what I'm hoping is it's Drew, but you never know.
Wow, if they don't do that, then what the hell?
You never know. I mean, I would assume that's where they're heading, but we'll see. Let's move on to Tuesday with a little Impact.
Yeah.
Impact Wrestling, the show that has nothing to do now with AEW besides Tony Khan doing his little promo every week.
Yeah.
That's about all they got now.
Yeah, the wrestlers quit coming over there. But they do have some New Japan guys, well, two.
Yeah, tag team.
They're still playing that matchup eventually, but Matt Cardona was a guest referee on this show in a match with Kurt Hawkins not Kurt Hawkins. Sorry, his name is what is his name?
Brian Myers. How do you never remember that name?
I don't know why I can't remember his name. So yeah, Brian Myers took on who did he take on?
Eddie Kingston.
No, not Eddie Kingston. Eddie
Edwards. Sorry.
Eddie Edwards.
Eddie Edwards. Why did this person say Eddie Kingston on here? Yeah, I was looking at the results and it said Eddie Kingston. I was like, that's not right.
Yeah. So Eddie Edwards. And in this match, we found out that why Brian Myers has been winning with a clothesline all the time, which I always thought was a weird way to win a match for Brian Myers. He's not a big guy or nothing. He's been loading up his elbow pad with a piece of metal. And Matt Cardona caught him. And Brian Myers, so he threw the match out and Brian Myers just walked away. And I was like very confused because I thought they were going to fight and then they didn't. So I think this is leading to a Brian Myers versus Matt Cardona match. So that'll be interesting, I guess. Moose wants his title shot, even though before he didn't want his title shot. Now he wants it. We had Tuesday's such a long time ago. I'm having trouble remembering what the hell happened on this show.
Yeah. Finn Juice and the Good Brothers had an 8-man tag team match.
Yeah, it was an 8-man tag main event
against
right.
XXL Reno Scum. Finn Juice and Good Brothers won.
Yeah.
Of course. And then we had the number one contender X Division triple threat match.
Right, and Ace Austin won.
Ace Austin wins, yeah.
Yeah, so he is finally the actual number one contender, even though he should have been all along. The 8-man tag, they almost lost the match because they were fighting. The two teams were fighting, but they ended up winning. So, like I said, they're playing up that match, and that's about all that's really going on Impact. Nothing too crazy. Any Impact news that you saw?
The only thing is Explosion has been is gone, apparently. They've replaced it with their before the Impact show.
I didn't even know it was still a thing.
Yeah. It goes on it's on an extended hiatus. And then they have their, before the Impact show now, but they share air coincidentally before Impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense, right?
Yeah, makes sense. NWA is coming back with a pay-per-view, and they also announced that they are going to be NWA Power is coming back. It's coming back March 20 something, the last Tuesday in March, and it's going to be on the Fight Network.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to pay it for it. So
you have to pay for it. Well,
that's interesting.
I guess they have been doing those joint shows with all those indie companies doing the primetime wrestling, and I guess it worked out for them there. So I guess they figured, let's do it this way, make some money.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but here my thing is, I'm not paying to watch one show.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if I could get more access and like a bunch of shows, I might think about it, but I'm not paying a monthly, either a monthly or whatever for,
it's probably gonna be per episode,
one show a week. Yeah, that's.
Depends how much they're charging for one episode. If it's the same as that primetime thing, then hell no. That was like $7 an episode.
Yeah.
So there was also a dark episode. I did watch it all, but it was nothing to write home about. Next week I will, or not, is it next week? Yeah, not this week, but the next week is when they start their new dark elevation show.
Yes, next Monday.
I will watch the first episode and talk about it on here, and then that'll probably be the end of that. But I will give the first episode a go. We'll see what that's all about. I guess we can go ahead into Wednesday.
Yeah,
big shows.
We did.
Literally.
We had some very big shows this week. Just trying
to. First, we'll talk about, I guess, MLW. They did have a show this week.
Yeah, they went on hiatus last week. I'm not sure why. They didn't really give an explanation.
No, they didn't.
Just didn't have a show, and it was very weird because I kept expecting it to get uploaded to YouTube, and I was like,
Yeah. So this week, we had a crappy tag team match for the tag team titles. Los Parks took on, which I thought they were heels, which I think they still are. So you have Los Parks, who are heels, taking on Contra Unit, who are heels. And it was just a brawl. Wasn't really a match. Los Parks came away with the belt, so they kept their titles. But yeah, it was bizarre. Both teams were trying to cheat. It was very strange.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that LA Park is still wrestling.
It's crazy, right? Like, he's been wrestling since, like, what, the 80s probably?
Probably.
Freaking
and not only that, he's doing suicide dives. He did a suicide dive in this match. Crazy. And then another match was a heavyweight title match. If you want to call it that. Jacob Fatu taking on this Oliver guy that I really don't like. That Oliver guy. He's always, like, I know his gimmick is to be a punk, but he just literally seems like a punk, and he doesn't sell very good, and he's just not good in the ring at all. And I don't know how he got this spot. If I was the other guys in this company, I would be like, what is going on right now? But they had this match. He got a couple offensive moves in at one point, and that was about it. And Jacob Fatu kicked his ass, and the match is over, and he's still champion. So both champions retain in this show. Not a great show.
No.
By any stretch.
No, not at all. And it's sad because every week we seem to say the same thing on MLW. Like, I don't know what happened to their shows.
Yeah, I'm hoping that maybe when fans come back, they'll have better shows, but I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. I mean, I wish they were good for a while. The first couple of shows were good, but then they're falling into like I don't know what kind. I don't know. They used to be kind of serious, and it seems like they're kind of I don't know falling more into like the campy like stuff.
A little bit.
Because they brought in like Mil
Mortez. Yeah.
And they're doing all that weird stuff and Contra Unit doing their stuff. And I mean it's
a sports style show.
But yeah. That was yeah. Now we'll move on to NXT. Let's jump into NXT.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you want to do Dynamite? We can do Dynamite.
Well, I figured Dynamite was the bigger show.
Okay.
Was there any other news out of AEW other than Christian signing with them?
Not that I've seen. Other than basically Paul White said that Vince McMahon called him and wished him luck. So maybe this isn't the, hated person that people think he is. Yeah, I haven't really seen much news. Just
Yeah. All right, then we'll just jump into the show. So we started out the show with what I thought was going to be the main event. Shaq and Cody Rhodes. What the hell, man? Why'd they start off with this show or this, right?
I don't know, because if they would have held this till the end, their ratings would have been great. Because over 1 million people watched this match, and then a lot of them turned off.
Right.
They should have. And that's just poor, man. If you're gonna have this big attraction match, you put it on at the end of the night or close it.
But
fans interested.
You got that, but you also here's the other side of that. You could say is that they wanted to get the casual people in early. You know what I mean? Get the eyeballs on the show, and then try to hook them with all their other stuff.
But it didn't work.
It did not work. But I think that was their idea.
This match.
What did you think of it?
It was better than I was anticipating.
Yeah.
Shaq took it pretty seriously, which a lot of people were thinking he may not.
Yeah.
He sold decently. He
sold like Andre the Giant, man.
Yeah, I mean, he looked decent. I mean, for a guy who's not a wrestler, and he's 7 feet tall.
Well, he's in his 50s too.
And a guy who's in his 50s, 7 feet tall, and not a wrestler. I mean, he looked pretty damn good.
At first, when he first got up to the ring, he walked kind of gingerly.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh man, it's gonna be rough, because I was like, he's moving pretty slow. But then all of a sudden he started like. Once he got in the ring and they were getting ready to lock up, all of a sudden he started like skipping and hopping around the ring, and I was like,
yeah. Jade and Jade looked decent. Red Velvet was.
Red Velvet messed up a couple spots, but she wasn't bad. She's actually looked pretty good recently. But the other thing is though is with Jade, she looked okay, but she didn't do a whole lot. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't do a lot of wrestling. She would like do a move and pose.
Yeah.
And so I'm not so sure she's going to be like a full-time wrestler, because she wrestled like a part-time celebrity.
Yeah, that was my one thing, was this match was slow. This match was Cody, give him credit, tried, but you had Shaq, Jade, and Red Velvet. You weren't going to have a 5-star classic in there. But
right.
For what it was, for being a celebrity match, it was really good. I'll give them that. Was it the best celebrity match? No, but it was pretty good.
Yeah. At the end, it ended with Cody Rhodes crossbody going over the top rope, cross-bodying into Shaq, who was on the apron, who just fell backwards through 2 tables, which is, I mean, yeah, he didn't have to fall very far, but still,
yeah,
that's
the fact that he agreed to do that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and they hit pretty hard on the floor, but yeah. But afterwards, what was weird was afterwards he just disappeared. He was supposed to be in a ambulance.
Yeah.
And when Tony Schiavone went he was gone. So he teleported back to the NBA.
I didn't get it. I don't understand what that.
They never said anything either.
Yeah,
like they never referenced it afterwards.
He was gone and it was over. I'm like, oh, okay, well.
Yeah, kind of weird.
Yeah, this. See, I think the problem was they went straight from that match. I mean, the next match though. I mean, it was Pac and Ray Phoenix, which you think, but
yeah,
I'm not sure why people wouldn't stick around. But yeah,
because it's all casual people. They only tuned in for Shaq, and they didn't really care about the wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, this match was really quickly, and maybe that's what, But yeah, we had Jericho and MJF's press conference, which was stupid.
That was dumb.
They went on way too long.
Yeah.
The Young Bucks took a shot at NXT, even though I don't know why.
I don't know either.
I didn't get it because it was like, that's okay. So the fact, here's the thing: when you take a shot, saying someone would be somewhere else. So what you're telling me is he's not good enough to be on your show. So why is he on your show?
Yeah.
Like you said that he'd be curtain jerking at the PC, and I'm like, well, then why is he on your show? That doesn't make any sense. If he's that bad, why would you even put him on your show? That's stupid. Why would you insult your own freaking show? But yeah, there's that. We had Tully Blanchard back in action for the first time in like 12 years or something.
Yeah, this is the other match that when I talked to people about this show heading into the show, this was the other match that people were looking forward to.
This was
Tully Blanchard wrestled way more than I thought he was going to in this match.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but he did.
JJ Dillon accompanied FTR and Tully Blanchard.
Yeah.
And then at the end of this match, Shawn Spears came back, and the entire world went, "Oh yeah, he still works here."
Yeah.
And then Arn Anderson held up the forefinger, so apparently it's going to be FTR and Shawn Spears as the new 4 Horsemen. That's yeah.
Yeah, but who's the 4th man? You can't have 4 horsemen.
Tully Blanchard, man.
Oh my God.
And then you had Paul White calling it Evolution instead of Revolution. And then he just
good first start for his
he did his
announcing career.
Did his tease about who's signing, and then it got the world a buzz. Ryo Mizunami beat Ryla Rose in the women's eliminator tournament thingamajigger, and then we had another Sting interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, Max Caster got into the
ladder match,
and then the main event was Hangman, Adam Page, and John Silver, Matt Hardy, and Mark Quinn. Not a good main event.
No, I'm not sure why this main event.
Yeah, weird main event. Yeah, I don't know. It ended in typical WCW fashion with the entire roster coming out.
Yeah.
Which was like, well, there you go. That's how. So yeah, weird main event. Decent show though. I will give them that. It built up the pay-per-view as well as it could. I mean.
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't mind it. So let's move on to the other Wednesday night show, NXT. Another big show on this show as well, as we had the women's tag team title match on this show.
Yeah, boy, was there any NXT news? Didn't they? I mean, you talked about all the people they signed, didn't you?
Yeah.
Last week.
Yeah, I don't. Not really.
Okay.
Not a lot of news this week. This week was a slow.
Yeah.
Last week was a slow news week. It was a big week, but just not a lot of news. So basically, this show was headlined. Well, supposed to be
All
headlined.
right. So, what did we start off with on this NXT show?
Yeah, we started off with the men's tag team champions, Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch versus Ciampa and Thatcher.
Right.
Which
It was a brutal match.
Brutal. These four always beat the hell out of each other. Lorcan and Burch got the win.
I don't know how you can have a very long career like that, but
Ciampa looks 50.
he does.
He's looking old. This show had therapy with the way throughout it, which was hilarious.
I didn't like that segment.
You didn't like it?
Okay. It was okay.
The best part of the show was the best part of the therapy sessions was Indy Hartwell's facial expressions and stuff throughout it. It was great. It was hilarious.
Yeah, apparently she's into Dexter Loomis. Huh?
Yeah, she's like she wants to be with Dexter. Ember Moon defeated Aaliyah. And then we had the Women's Tag Team Championship match, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Raquel and Dakota. This was a pretty good match, but shrouded in controversy. We had Baszler and Kai in the ring, but Kai was not the legal participant. Dakota Gonzalez was, but Gonzalez and Nia went through the table. Adam Pearce showed up for some reason.
Yeah.
Sent a Raw official down to the ring who called for the bell. And so technically, I guess the women's champions won, but controversy raged. And William Regal said next week he has a major announcement. That's going to take NXT.
What is that going to be? Any guesses?
NXT is getting their own women's tag team titles. That's all it's going to be.
That sucks.
It's dumb, but it's what I mean. They should. The problem is, I wanted Dakota and Raquel to win, but I knew they weren't because they're two completely different booking teams, and so there's no way those titles are ever going to come to NXT. So they're going to give the women their own titles and
the women's tag team title. Why couldn't it go there for a little bit?
They need to just get rid of them on the main roster anyway, on Raw and SmackDown. They don't freaking use it right anyway, but yeah. We had a LA Knight promo. It was pretty good. But
he also interfered in a match.
Yeah, and then after that, it was Bronson Reed and Cameron Grimes. Bronson Reed came out after LA Knight's promo. They kind of looked at each other. And then at the end of the match, LA Knight pushed Bronson off the top rope and allowed Cameron Grimes to win. So Cameron Grimes got a big win.
Don't look at LA Knight, apparently.
It looks like Knight and Reed are going to feud. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, you're pushing Reed, and then you have him take on a guy that just showed up. So you're pretty sure Reed's going to lose. And it's like, well, why you been pushing him if you're going to have him lose to a guy that's just showing up?
And then the main event was Finn Bauer and Roderick Strong in a non-title match. Pretty good match. Finn Bauer wins with Adam Cole coming out afterwards. Next week, it'll be Adam Cole and Finn Bauer for the NXT Championship.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know how that's going to go. I assume that Kyle O'Reilly is going to interfere.
Yeah, I would think so.
But
does that make it? They did announce that there is going to be a takeover right before Mania. So the takeover, Ryan, get this.
I did hear this, yeah.
It's going to be on like a Tuesday or a Thursday or some shit.
It's Thursday. So what I've heard is it's going to be a 2-night event with the first night being NXT TV and then a special on the network the next night.
Wow.
Is what I've heard. Well, I guess it'd be on Peacock, not the net because the network won't be a thing. But that's what I've heard. They're gonna do like a special NXT night 1 and then a night 2. It would be like their own mini mania, I guess.
Yeah. So, and then after that, the next week after that, they go to Tuesdays.
Supposedly, it has not been official, but that's supposedly what's gonna happen. So crazy. That if that happens, there's gonna be wrestling from Wednesday all the way till like the next Saturday.
Well, there already is.
Well,
technically,
well,
just not major wrestling. But
well, WWE is going to run a show Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, the only show they won't have is the Wednesday.
And then they'll have NXT UK Thursday and then SmackDown Friday. Fucking nuts, dude. WrestleMania season's always WrestleMania.
All that, you know what that's gonna. So Tony Khan, I think it was Tony Khan. No, I think it was Cody Rhodes.
It was Cody Rhodes fucking acting like they're the inflated ego.
He did act like they were the reason. He knows why they're reason. But they asked him. They said, since it's is the war over, is what they said, And he said that knowing WWE, that they will find something else to put on Wednesday. And I almost agree with him because, there has been all these talks about these other NXT shows coming. So I feel like they're just going to fit right into that Wednesday slot, Ryan. So you're going to have WWE 5 nights a week.
Nah, those are going to be, but it's not going to be the same because it's not going to be on TV.
It's not going to be the same, but I guarantee you those are going to be right there in that spot.
Nah.
You don't think so?
Nah.
One of them will.
That's not going to be for a while anyway. I mean,
well, maybe not, but where else are they going to put it?
I don't know. I just think Cody came off kind of arrogant in that fucking interview, in that thing I saw. That it seemed to me like he seemed. I hope that was not. I hope that was in like an in-character interview. I hope he wasn't serious with that interview because I was like, come on, dude.
He's living the gimmick right now, right?
He sat there and said we dominated him. I'm like, okay, you won the ratings war every week. Woo, big whoop. It's not dominating, but whatever.
That's what they still have to do.
All right. So let's move on to Thursday with NXT UK. Another big show. There's a lot of championship matches this week. I haven't heard any news. UK news is not, nothing ever really comes out. They're kind of in their own little world over there, and I don't really hear much about UK. I don't really hear many news reports.
Yeah, the big thing of this show was we had Mako, whatever her name is,
Satomura,
fight for the women's title of the UK, which is really weird, but it was a great match.
It was freaking fantastic. I think it may have been my favorite match this week. This match was great.
Yeah, it was pretty damn good. But you bring her in and then she loses.
Yeah, Kaylee Ray wins, which, my God, like if she's not the most dominant champion, because Walter's held his title the same, but God damn, Kaylee Ray is beating everybody.
Yeah,
I don't know who they have, unless they might do a rematch with Miko and maybe she'll take it off of her, but who do they have to beat her?
Yeah,
Kaylee Ray. But that match. If you don't watch UK, you're missing out because they put on bangers every week.
Yeah.
There's like one match every week that is like match of the week almost. Every week, they are rolling over there in the UK.
And you used to not watch that shit.
I know. I missed out for a while. Now I'm on the train and I'm in. And Kaylee Ray is amazing and Miko was great. This match was fantastic. It was what you would expect from these two. And what I expected was great and I got it. So there you go. That's all I can say. This match was just the best thing of the week, honestly,
All right.
in my eyes, at least.
So what did you think of our next show, SmackDown?
SmackDown. Well, I tell you what, SmackDown's like the show. It's like, you think they're getting good. You think they're gonna, they're having good shows, and then they fall apart. I don't know. I did like Apollo Cruz's new gimmick.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't. I still don't know. People, I guess, don't get it that's like real. Like that's his gimmick. He actually is Nigerian. The accent might be a little embellished, but this is based on like his real heritage. Like,
yeah, but people just don't like it because like it's just like with the Kofi thing,
But that wasn't real. This is.
Yeah, but still, it's not as real.
I looked at it like this. People were like, he's putting on a fake accent. I looked at it as he's been putting on a fake accent this whole time, and this is his real accent. That's what I took from it. Is he was shackled with it, and he had to pretend to be something he wasn't. That's what I got from all this.
Well, yeah, that's what he was.
I loved it, and I enjoyed it.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, I loved it. This match had a lot of shit.
The show, you mean?
Oh, yeah, the show. King Corbin beat Montez Ford, which led to Angelo Dawkins beating Sami Zayn. Because that's what we do now. We're just going to, instead of having a tag team match, we're going to have 2 singles matches.
Yeah, what's up with that?
It was supposed to be a tag team match, and then it became 2 singles matches. I don't know. Dominic Mysterio got a win over Chad Gable. That was a pretty fun match. I'll give it that. That match was fun.
Yeah.
For a short little match, Dominic and Chad was pretty good. And apparently Murphy's just, trying to get back with Seth, so that's cool.
Where did he come from? I mean, what the hell?
Bianca Belair beat Shayna Baszler. And yeah, Cesaro ended up beating Murphy because Murphy tried to get in the good graces of Seth again for some reason.
Yeah, I still don't understand that.
I guess they think Murphy can't do anything on his own.
Well, why would he do that when the Mysterios are still there and they had that big moment and everything, and then now all of a sudden he's just, what the hell?
I tell you what, man. It's like they forget. It's like they forget they just booked this fucking feud for a year.
Yeah.
And they had this thing where they're all together, and he took Ray, like Ray accepted him, and now it never happened. It's like it never happened.
Yeah, now we're right back where we were.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Cesaro beat him, so yeah. And then we had our main event, which was the steel cage match between Daniel Bryan and Jey Uso. If Bryan wins, he will face Roman Reigns at Fastlane. I find it funny how Edge said he was going to be on the show every week, and he wasn't on the show this week, but whatever. He's already getting punished, Nathan, because Christian went.
What's happening?
This was a pretty good cage match. Cage matches at this point, you've seen one, you've seen them all. There's only so much you can do with a cage. But they did do some cool stuff here. This was a pretty good cage match. Daniel Bryan ends up getting the win, though. So Daniel Bryan will face Roman Reigns at Fastlane. Don't know why.
I don't know why either.
This pay-per-view does not need to happen. Fastlane, it shouldn't happen. They should not be a pay-per-view between Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania.
No, because you just get matches that you don't need.
Yeah, it's an unwanted pay-per-view. It's an unnecessary pay-per-view. It doesn't need to exist, but it does. And then it's never good. I don't remember, like, they've been doing Fastlane now for what, like 5 years or so, and I can't remember a single like great moment from this pay-per-view ever. Because it's like, they're not changing any of the titles right before Mania. So what, it's it's yeah. SmackDown was The cage match was good. That's about it. I liked Apollo. That's all we got. I mean, it was so. I don't like that the Bianca Sasha feud is now basically the Reginald's involved in it more than Bianca and Sasha, and that kind of annoys me.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be about them, and now Reginald's thrown into that for some reason. It needs to just. SmackDown was good for they had a good run of about 6 months, and now it's getting as bad as Raw.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to 205 Live, where we start off with the hottest wrestler in freaking WWE today, Mansoor. He's actually the first match was August Gray and Jake Atlas defeated Tony Nese and Arya Daivari. Mansoor has been undefeated for over a year.
Yeah, and he's 40-0 apparently.
40-0. It's just what the fuck?
A cruiserweight title shot.
What the hell? He's been undefeated for over a year. And he won again. Mansoor beat Kurt Stein, which is weird. They put him up against another guy who was kind of up and coming. But yeah, he beat Kurt Stallion. Both pretty decent matches. I don't know why Mansoor's getting this monster push. So whoever's booking the show is just a fan of his, I guess.
No.
Vince doesn't watch this show. Yeah.
No, that's true.
Vince doesn't watch it. They can do what they want over here. 205 Live exists in its own world. And then it doesn't, nothing matters on that show. Let's run down some New Japan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you New Japan. You doing Strong first?
I'll do Strong real quick. It was the same people we see every week. Clark Connors and Kevin Knight took on Carl Fredericks and Alex Coughlin in typical tag team match here. Fredericks and Coughlin get the win. Filthy Tom Lawler took on the DKC in a New Japan Cup USA qualifying match. That's happening in a couple weeks. Filthy Tom Lawler got the win. And also, Leo Rush and Rocky Romero took on in a New Japan Cup USA qualifying match with Leo Rush going over. Leo Rush is just insane right now. He's wrestling everywhere. So yeah, Tom Lawler and Leo Rush both qualify for New Japan Cup USA.
Right. That was weird watching Tom Lawler. Tom Lawler almost got beat for a little bit there, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah. Weird. So that was strong. It was okay. Pretty good match. I mean, Rocky Romero and Leo Rush is pretty good. So.
Yeah.
So what's going on in the world of New Japan? Anything else happening?
We got the New Japan Cup going on. So far in the New Japan Cup, Evil got a first round bye, and Tanahashi got a first round bye. And then so far in this tournament, Jeff Cobb has defeated Kojima. The Great Okan, in a huge upset, defeated Naito.
Great Okan's like the 20-year-old who wrestles like a 60-year-old.
Yes, and he put him in a leg lock, and just destroyed his leg over and over until the referee had to stop it. And that's how he beat Naito. Yano beat Bad Luck Fale. Bad Luck Fale taped him to the turnbuckle on the outside, tried to get a count out, but and he had him on the outside, tried to get a count out, but he broke the count. Somehow Yano rolled in the ring while he was still taped to the turnbuckle. So he gets him back out of the ring, and he's going to do some more damage, and he ends up headbutting the post, knocking himself out. Yano gets in the ring and wins. So Yano moves on. Goto beat Taichi in a really good match. Suzuki, old-ass Suzuki, beat Tomako Hanma, who's the guy that does the falling headbutt, the passing goat headbutt that we saw on AEW pay-per-view that we'll talk about. Or yeah, he does that. He's like their Hulk Hogan. Will Ospreay defeated Tenzan, who's an old man. That kind of ended their feud.
Tenzan's crazy.
Yeah, it kind of ended their feud that they had going on there. And then Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Gabriel Kidd. So those guys have all moved on.
And this is just one win, right? This isn't round robin or anything.
No, but we all still yet to go in the first round. We have, I don't know who this is. Yota Tsuchi. I don't know who he is, but he's taking on Nagata. Ishii and Sonata, which will be a war. David Finlay and Chase Owens, so they put the two Americans together. That's great. Yoshihashi versus Takahashi.
Is Finlay American? I mean, technically, isn't he Irish?
Yeah, but he was born in the United States. Toa Henry and Jay White. Those are the first round matches that we still have left. In the second round, something to look forward to. Oh, Kenta defeated Juice Robinson. And Shingo Takagi, Ryan, defeated Okada.
That's fucking crazy.
Yes.
What does that mean for Okada? What the fuck?
So my man Takagi beat Okada.
Wow.
But in the second round, you get a crazy matchup here. Two of them, actually. You get Will Ospreay versus Zack Sabre Jr. The two Brits going at it for the first time, I believe, in a singles match in New Japan. So that'll be interesting. And Suzuki versus Kenta. Good Lord, will there be some strikes in that? Hopefully Kenta doesn't kill the old man. But so yeah. Pretty crazy. But if you want to go ahead, and we'll go ahead into the big main event here.
We'll talk. Yeah. So we live streamed our reactions to Revolution on Facebook. I usually do it on YouTube, but we were having some issues, so we moved over to Facebook, and it was fun. We had a blast doing it, and
I feel like there were more people in it because of Facebook.
Yeah, there was. So I might stick to Facebook from now on. I don't know if I can figure out how to do both of them. I do both, but I can. We had a blast. We were watching it. This show, I'm just gonna go straight out with this. I did not like this show.
What?
Some of the matches, I don't know, man. It's not hardcore. It's not my cup of tea. Battle royals are not my cup of tea. Just anyway, we'll get into it. We'll give our thoughts and.
Okay. Well, my thoughts were I liked this show, so.
Okay. The buy-in show match was Riho and Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker and Reba, not Rebel, or Rebel, not Reba. I don't know what her name actually is. But Rebel had a doctor's note saying she couldn't wrestle, and there was a mystery partner, and it was Maki Ito, who did the whole song and dance and craziness at the beginning of this match.
Yeah, she's like K-pop.
She did the people's headbutt. And Britt Baker and Maki Ito get the win. Rebel got involved, hitting him with a crutch, which allowed Baker to score the pinfall. So pretty good. I mean, this match was fun. Ito was fun to watch. I had no complaints about this match. So started off good, and then we move on to the main card, and the first match was the AEW Tag Team Championship, the Young Bucks versus Jericho and MJF. This is supposed to be a blood feud, but the Young Bucks just did the same shit they always do in every match. That kind of annoyed me.
Yeah.
I mean, you
started off with a fight. Like, they tackled him. And
yeah. I mean, they bloodied your dad up, and you're still going to do moonsaults and super kicks and all that shit. Like, come on. But anyway, it's a typical Young Bucks match. You know, if you're a fan of them, you are. If you're not a fan of them, you're not. It's Young Bucks. You get what you get. They're not going to change. They are who they are. It's either going to be a great match in your eyes or you're going to hate it. So, and it was pretty good for what it was. Young Bucks actually get the win here, which shocked both of us.
Yeah,
because we both went with the Inner Circle, because we both basically said the same thing of they're going to win in the feud with Guevara and somebody. But that didn't happen, so I don't know where they go now with the Inner Circle. So,
yeah. Didn't make much sense.
No, I didn't get it. But this entire match, I had no idea how many people were in this match or who had come in or who was eliminated. This match was so hard to keep track of. The dumbest spot of this match, and I don't remember. I forgot it. I guess I saw it live, but I didn't really pay attention to it. Was when Evil Uno got eliminated because Marco Stunt got on the apron and gave him a hurricanrana, and Evil Uno ran across the entire apron and then hit the post and fell. And I don't know what that was.
I don't either.
Because the momentum of the hurricanrana didn't even send him that way. He aimed the hurricanrana to the floor, and Uno just ran. It's like, what? That was the most indie thing that I've ever. Boy.
Which that stuff on Dark.
Yeah. It came down to Phoenix, Pac, and Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy ended up eliminating Phoenix, but Pac ended up getting the win for his team. And so the Death Triangle, Pac and Phoenix, end up getting the win here. Well, Phoenix was the last one in, but anyway. And you got points for that one. You picked Pac and Phoenix.
Yeah.
It's a battle royal. It's a tag team women's battle. It's a tag team. Well, but it was yeah. And then we move on. The AEW Women's Championship, Hikaru Shida versus Ryu Mizunami. This was a straight up Japanese women's match. It's a lot of strikes, a lot of knees, a lot of counters and kickouts.
Yeah.
Shida wins, which I think everyone expected. I don't think anyone expected Shida to lose this match. Neither one of us did. We both picked Shida, so yeah, pretty good match. At the end, Nyla Rose came out afterwards, and then Britt Baker and Ito also came in, and then Thunder Rosa came in. So we don't know where they're heading in the women's division, but at least they've got some stuff going on now in the women's division, which is more than they were doing earlier. So. The worst match of the night, Miro and Kip Sabian versus Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor. This wasn't even much of a match. This was just a beatdown.
Yeah, it was not much of a match at all.
Yeah. Miro basically dominated this whole match. And Miro walked in the game over, which is still the dumbest name for a move I've ever heard. Miro and Sabian get the win. At one point in this match, Penelope Ford got knocked off the apron by Miro. Well, he shoved Orange Cassidy into her. And then, but what just happened? My internet.
Is it going to lead to some dissension between the two?
More than likely, I would say. I would assume so. Because I'm sure Kip Sabian didn't see it happen, and then he's going to see it. He's going to be like, what the hell? You know?
Yeah.
Which I don't know who's going to be the face and heel in that situation. I don't really see Sabian being a face.
Yeah.
But all right. Then we had the big money match. Yay. Adam Page and Matt Hardy. I mean, it was decent.
Yeah, the match was better than I thought it would be.
It was way better than I thought because I didn't know what to expect from Matt Hardy. But this was pretty good. A little slow at times, but it is what it is. Adam Page gets the win, which means he gets the entire first quarter earnings of Matt Hardy. And then the entire Dark Order came out and they did a group hug. So I don't know if that means he has officially joined them or not. So, but I would assume so. So
I also helped him win.
Yeah, they helped him win too. So because Private Party got involved. So yeah, maybe Adam Page is the new leader of the Dark Order. So, Page needed this win more than Hardy. Clearly, I mean Hardy doesn't. He needs to just put people over at this point. I see Adam Page being the one to take the title off of Omega. So
that could happen.
And then we had the Face of the Revolution ladder match where they were fighting over one of Sonic's rings. Cody Rhodes versus Penta versus Scorpio Sky versus Lance Archer versus Max Caster, and a mystery opponent, which turned out to be All Ego Ethan Page, which I called, which I did not expect to get that right, but I can.
Yeah.
This was your typical multi-man ladder match. Cody Rhodes was taken out early on and stood at the ramp and just stood there the entire time, which was super annoying.
Yeah, what's up with that?
It was annoying. And then he came back in and I knew it was going to happen. It was typical. That's typical old school booking. I thought he was going to win and I was going to be very upset. But he did not. Scorpio Sky won the brass ring, and I use air quotes as I say that. What a shot, WWE, honestly. Like, what the fuck? Like, so stupid. What happened to just having them grab a contract? You have them grab poker chips and brass rings. Just freaking have a contract. What happened to that? There's nothing wrong with that.
What was the fun in that, Ryan?
It was that brass ring was stupid. It was comically oversized and it was ridiculous. This was pretty good. Sky ended up actually winning this match by shoving Rhodes off the top. So Scorpio Sky gets the win. They're acting like this is like his first ever opportunity at the title, even though it's not. So whatever. He gets that shot on Wednesday this week. So be interesting. And then we got Christian was revealed as the big signee. Didn't say a word. Walked down, did his little looking pose, and signed the contract. That's it. Not much to say. Yeah. Then we had the street fight between Sting and Darby Allin and Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. This was cinematic, which I didn't know if it was going to be. I figured it would, but I didn't know.
Because Sting took a power bomb on TV. So
yeah, this took place at an empty warehouse that had like a bunch of elaborate entrances beforehand. Darby Allin took all the unnecessary stuff that you expected him to take. Yeah, fucking crazy. Sting took stuff which, and it was like the small stuff, right? Like he got something, like he got thrown into something and then he fell over and fell. It's like. It's the small stuff that made me cringe, man. Because it's the stuff that's the unexpected things that could get him. Like, the stuff in the ring, you can work around it, you can plan it. But it's like that unexpected getting thrown into something where you tweak your neck and it's just everything he took. I flinched and
I couldn't believe he wrestled as much as he did. It was
the only thing I can say about this match was Taz was hilarious.
Yeah.
Taz was on commentary, and it made this match watchable because Taz was great. At one point, Darby Allin jumped from a window about freaking, I don't even know how far down he jumped, but it was insanity. Through cage, through a platform. I don't even know how far he fell, but it was crazy.
Yeah.
which led Starks and Sting, which you would think, hey man, Sting is 61 and Starks is like 24. Let's put the young guy over. But no. I would have been okay if Darby Allin got the win here. But the fact that Sting got the win pissed me off completely. What's the point? I really don't get the point of having Darby Allin is your current TNT champion. Why is he not winning this match? I don't get it.
That's a good question.
I don't get it. I really didn't get it. But Sting and Darby Allin get the win. Yay. Where does this go now? Because what do you fucking do now? You're going to Sting wrestle a singles match? That's not going to happen.
Let's hope not.
Sting the number one contender now for the title? I mean, fuck it. Let's put Sting and Christian against each other. Fuck. Just, that booking made no sense. I would have been okay if Darby Allin picked up the win over Cage or something, but having Sting over Ricky Starks was just unnecessary in my eyes. And then we had this main event, the exploding barbed wire death match, Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley.
Yeah. What'd you think of it?
It was overdone.
Well, it's a barbed wire death match.
They should have just done barbed wire death match. The exploding was not necessary because it made no difference at all in this match. They build this as explosions, and they get thrown into the ring into a barbed wire, and it would go pop, and that was it. They had the triple hell on the outside, and they fell on it, and the backside of it exploded, but nothing else. And I'm like, I get you can't use real explosions, and I get that there's a safety factor, but if you can't do it visually that make it look good, then don't do it at all, because it made it look so campy and corny when they would hit the explosions, and it would be mistimed, or it wouldn't even be much of an explosion. And it's like, well, that didn't. The only one that was cool was Kenny Omega had the Good Brothers brought out an exploding baseball bat. That one was cool.
Okay. So I don't know. The ones in the ropes weren't bad.
They weren't bad, but the fact that Kenny Omega was wearing a white shirt and there were no burn marks on him or no chart at all took me out of it completely, man. I'm like,
yeah. I don't know. I honestly thought the match was good. And I was entertained by it. I mean, I could tell by your face you were cringing every 2 seconds.
I don't like death matches. I don't like hardcore matches. It's not my thing. I'm not into it. I'm not into seeing someone get ripped apart by barbed wire.
I felt like you were entertained by it. I don't know.
I mean, I was into the match, but it was just so much blood. I'm just not used to it. It's been so long since we've seen blood regularly that I'm not accustomed to it anymore. In the Attitude Era, it was every day, but yeah. I haven't seen blood on TV or a pay-per-view in like 10 years.
I guess what AEW is trying to do is they're trying to bring that back. They're trying to bring the oh my god moments back and trying to make wrestling what it was before. You have your funny stuff, you have your shock stuff. Right now, WWE has semi-funny stuff every once in a while. Not really any shock stuff. And
they had Miz win the title. That was shocking.
That's not the kind of thing I mean. The only thing that they have going for them is they have right now they have the most talented roster they've ever had, and they have good wrestling. But that's not getting it done. You gotta have more. And so AEW is trying to do something else and trying to bring back that kind of stuff. I enjoyed it.
Okay, this match was great until the Good Brothers got involved, and they took me out of it when that happened.
I agree with
because that was just it took me out. It was just a beat down, and I just like, come on, man. You can't have him win clean. At like, it's a freaking death match. Like, you can't have him win it on his own.
Yeah.
They brought the barbed wire bat that exploded. The ending of this match, he hit a one-winged angel onto a chair that was set up, which was fucking Jesus Christ, that was crazy. And then they kept beating him down. They handcuffed him. And the time limit kept going because they kept saying, "Oh my God, there's no stopping it. 30 minutes. It's gonna go off." And then it happened. And then the most disappointing moment in wrestling history happened.
It was very underwhelming.
So Eddie Kingston comes down because they had handcuffed Moxley at this point. And so Eddie Kingston comes down. He notices that the clock's at like 10. So he runs in the ring and he lays down on top of Moxley to shield him. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the announcers are going crazy. The crowd's going crazy. And we got some sparklers and a puff of smoke. And that was it. But yeah. Eddie Kingston sold it like he had been shot. And I get that. I don't know. And I don't know if something happened that was wrong or this was the plan. I have no idea. I assume there was a malfunction. There had to be.
And they're trying to,
trying to swing it now in a different light.
Tony Khan said that, that Kenny Omega made a dud, and he tried to kill Moxley, but it didn't work. But the thing is, that would be okay. They could do that, except for the fact, like you said, Eddie Kingston sold it like he was like a big explosion did happen, which.
Yeah.
So then now you got to somehow figure that out.
Yep.
I
mean, I
liked the fact that I liked the story of it.
Yes.
Like him coming out there, jumping on him, whenever, like, if John Moxley was going to get rode off and like go to Japan or whatever, and if he was going to get rode off for a while, whenever him and Kingston come back, they're probably going to be like a tag team now, and it's going to advances it.
Yeah, and this could lead to Kingston becoming the next challenger to Omega. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities, and I did like that. But it just, man, it was such a disappointment. Like, I'm not going to sit here and rag on the company because every company's had their moments like that, right? WWE's had it,
A lot.
But you bill it as this huge explosion, and then nothing happens, and it's even the live crowd was like, what? Like, their wrestlers were trying not, and here's the thing, they're gonna try to swing it as like a dud or it was like planned or whatever, but you had the announcers like still freak out as if something happened.
Well, like it was like none of them adapted on the fly. They went with what was supposed to happen. Eddie Kingston, went with what was supposed to happen. So it was definitely supposed to be a big explosion.
That's the thing, like. So they can swing it as if this was the plan all along, which seems to be what they're kind of going with now. Is that it was it was a dud. It was supposed to happen, but it wasn't supposed to happen. It was supposed to be an explosion, and it didn't go off, and that happens. But you just got to own it. Just own it, move on, whatever. It's.
So the thing is, one thing I did like about that match is Moxley took a beating.
He did.
He took such a beating that even if that explosion didn't go off, that they
can write him off. Yeah,
they can still write him off because he took a one-wing angel through a chair. He had a barbed wire baseball bat to the face. I mean,
yeah, it was nuts. He took a fucking beating. So yeah, you can write him off now and still be fine. It's just it was such an underwhelming ending to a pay-per-view. Like I have never, and there's been pay-per-views before. I know the Hell in a Cell with Rollins and Fiend comes to mind as well.
Yeah.
But you never want people to leave your pay-per-view going, that was it? Like, that's...
But it wasn't...
I mean, and it'll be... it's fine. This is not the death of AEW. Like, it's gonna be fine. They'll laugh at it next year probably, but they'll laugh at it. They'll make fun of it. It's just, man, they build it up as this huge thing, and then nothing happened, and I was just like, they're never gonna live it down. You know, that's just. It's interesting. We'll see how they swing this. I mean, I'm sure they'll figure it out, but they should just own it and say, "Yeah, we fucked up. It's okay." I mean, but the match itself, like I said, it's not my style of match. I'm not into death matches. It was a good match. The story was great. Like, the story they told during the match was good. But then once the Good Brothers came out, I was done. The match that took me out. It was not necessary for them to come out. It's just, I don't like it when you make your champion out to be that he can't do it on his own. I know he's a heel, but come on. He's Kenny Omega.
That's what they did with Seth Rollins for
years.
Like,
he's Kenny Omega. He's supposed to be like the greatest wrestler in the world. He's 6-star Omega. Let him do it. Like, what are you doing, you know?
Yeah.
It's frustrating, but yeah, this was a big week. Every show was packed with championship matches. It seemed like.
Yeah. The main thing to take away from this week was I beat you.
Yes. Yeah, Nathan. The streak is over. I've lost. I was on like a three pay-per-view winning streak. Nathan finally gets another win under his belt. So. So we got the next pay-per-view we'll be doing is Fastlane. Yay. It's going to be a joke pay-per-view, but as always, we'd still be doing the video game and the sports podcast, video game podcast on Thursday and the sports podcast on Saturday. Sports, we got a lot to talk about. We've got NBA All-Star Game. We got NCAA conference tournaments. Some NFL news, all that fun stuff. And video games, we'll have some fun stuff to talk about too. So check those out when they drop. Also, video versions will be available on the YouTube. Check out that YouTube page for more videos, gaming videos, reaction videos, stuff like that. We'll be doing a March Madness style tournament for the best TV theme songs. That'll be dropping on the YouTube channel hopefully soon. So check that out as well.
Yeah, and then we're also going to be doing a fantasy league for wrestling.
Yeah, starting after WrestleMania, because that sounds, I don't know, it's the biggest. It's a good time to start it.
Yeah.
After Mania, we'll be doing a fantasy league. We're still working out the details. We'll get all that figured out. And if you'd like to join, hit me up on Twitter at SabraiENT. You can join in on the fun, and we'll have this big. We'll have it kind of like a community thing. Winner will get something. We'll think maybe a T-shirt or something. We'll buy you like a T-shirt of your favorite wrestler or something from WWE or AEW or Pro Wrestling Tees or wherever. So,
you don't think I'm going to win this thing? Is that what you're saying?
Huh? Well, if I win, then you buy me a shirt. And if you win, I buy you a shirt. So, yeah, we got some fun stuff coming. So stay tuned to all the social media, all of the platforms, because I might just drop a live stream here on Facebook and YouTube, whatever. So follow those channels if you'd like to keep up with any future live streams, because those are fun. I like doing them. So thank you. This has been a long podcast. I think I've had some technical issues through it. Hopefully you don't notice it because I'll edit through it. But yeah. So that's going to do it. Thank you for joining us. And as always, for Nathan, I am Ryan, reminding you to always score if you can, save if you must, but always suplex when necessary.
Later.